I guess people will join slowly. Let's start. Let me start sharing the screen. Today's topic is a little long also. It needs little extra time. I know last week topic was uh, easier one. It was quick, basically it was quick. So let me share my screen. Good morning, good morning. Um, So let's start. People will keep on joining. So let me know if you are able to see the screen. Can someone tell me you are able to see the screen? I have added, you see, ANDA or SNDA. I have added additionally. I thought to give you an idea because we are, of course, in our syllabus, it is IND and NDA or BLA, but I thought like to include two additional for information. Let me put a mic also. Cool. So my slides are, I'm thinking that they are visible. Okay. Thank you so much. So guys, in case, in between, if you lose my voice, sometimes it happens, if network goes down, it impacts your voice. So do let me know. So let me start sharing the screen. So we will be covering all these different applications. They are sufficient for a beginner. And I will also keep on telling you the difference. Like in EU, we said marketing authorization application, right? So I will keep on telling you the difference as well. So this is what a journey of a drug development look like when you start. So now, just see carefully. We have said preclinical testing, or even before that, you can say that lab testing. Then the first application, when we want to go for a human testing, is INDA submission, which is very important, right? So the human testing is important. But before anything you wanted to go for a human, you need to have a permission from a government. So that is what is called IND submission or IND application, investigational new drug application, right? So the next, once you are done these, all these 1, 2, and 3 phase, all phases you done, your clinical testing is successful, then you can follow through the NDA application because we wanted to come into a market. If you wanted to sell your drug in the market, you need to apply this. And biological is for your vaccines or any other biological product. So that is the difference. And here you can say FDA approval or DCGI approval or EU approval, any country where you want to sell your product. So that is the approval. So we will study this in detail. I will cover each application in detail, that what really goes into that. Now, before your IND application, there is another thing, something this is also asked in the interviews as well, that what is pre-INDA? There is a provision because regulatory also, they want you to, make your work successful or helpful, because a regulatory body, say maybe any regulatory body, if it is our country, this is one, right? Or Europe, it is a different, Health Canada, or in Japan, it is a different. So their job is also to do the best for a public. So even before that, you professionally file this application, there is an option, you go and fix a meeting. Now, anyone, what will be the advantage of this meeting? Anyone. Will this meeting be helpful? Because once you submit this application, it will go through that complete cycle, 40 days review, and then if there is a deficiency, if they can reject it. Anyone, what will be the advantage of pre-IND meeting? This can also be asked in the interview. Any answer you would like to tell? No? So just imagine you are having an exam, right? So suppose you are having exam, you go to your teacher and just tell them that I have already prepared these topics. Can you suggest me if I'm lacking something? They will suggest you. It is just like that. Before you really file an application, you go ahead and have a meeting with the regulators. What they tell you? They tell you that what they really need. What they really need. You may present few slides. They can give you their suggestions so that in case something is lacking in your application, you can address it. I give you one example that I personally faced. So we were about to start at the time of COVID, start phase 1 trial. And we were about to file the application of IND. But we fixed a meeting with the DCGI. And their expert committee gathered and they reviewed our different scenarios. And they gave us one concrete feedback that your animal data, your clinical preclinical testing is not sufficient according to us. So they gave us this meeting minutes that your preclinical testing is not sufficient. So what does that mean? That we need to do some 1 or 2 smaller studies on animals so that we can make our application complete. So just imagine if we would have submitted, then they would have rejected it. Then again, we would have planned these animal studies and then again submitted it. So it saved us time. So what, before your clinical study, sponsor need evidence that compound is biological active. Both sponsor and regulatory body need that this is reasonably safe. That's why they gave us a feedback that your animal studies are not sufficient. Meeting at such an early stage of the process is useful to discuss the about testing of phases, data requirement, scientific issue that may need to be resolved. Like there was another IND meeting also where we, what you say, that we thought of doing a trial on infants, but they said that it's too early to expose to infants. Why don't you try for small study on toddlers? So that they change the age group, and that's our study also changed. At these meetings, sponsor and regulatories, they discuss and agree upon the design of animal studies before you initiate human testing. So basically, the whole idea is they want to ensure that before you go for a human studies, it is safe. Any question on this? Then I will tell you what goes into the IND application. Okay, nothing. So, investigational new drug application. So that is your INDA application. This document allows the investigational clinical testing of a new medicine. It must be filed before you start any human study. What are the table of content? This will be having introduction, investigator brochure, general investigational plan. What are the previous human experience? Why this? Because we are filing this application before phase 1. Why we wanted to give up any previous human experience? Because we are just starting first study in human. What happens these days? One molecule is used for multiple indications. Like recently, I'm working on one molecule that where we are working on oncology trial also, and simultaneously some infectious disease also. So in oncology, we are in phase 2. And in infectious disease, we have to start phase 1. So now, oncology, where we are already in phase 2. What does that mean? This is what it is mean. So when I am starting this infectious trial, I will include a data till phase 2 on a different indication. So that is the idea, right? I hope you got a point. Pharmacology and toxicology data that you will get from your animal study. Investigator who is going to do this study. Facilities where you are going to do the studies. And how you are going to manufacture this drug, and how you are going to control any additional information. So now in detail, you will be giving you introduction, current requirement and practices, clarification on IND regulation, cover sheet as per 1571, table of content, introductory statement and general investigational plan. Like we are trying to work on this molecule to treat infection, maybe a respiratory infection, example, right? Investigator brochure, protocol, because this is what needed for a trial, and how you are going to manufacture this molecule, the total chemistry and control information, right? But it will be drug substance, description of drug, including its physical, chemical, and biological characters. Name and address of manufacturer. Manufacturer means sponsor. Because this is very important. Because something what happened, manufacturer is different and trial is done by some other company. That also happens. Some small company is developed that molecule, and the big company is doing the clinical trials, because those are expensive. General method and preparation of drug substances, how you are preparing this, what are the acceptable limits, analytic methods used to ensure identity, strength, quality, purity of that particular molecule. Information and score tools, the stability data, because we are going to do a clinical trial. What else? Information, drug product information, the complete information. I'm not going too much in detail, but the complete information on that product is to be added in IND application. Why this is important? Because when we are doing first time trial, right? When we are doing first time trial, it's not like the side effects or the problems comes during clinical trial only. Sometimes manufacturing issues are also there. So if you don't know each and everything about that product, you may lose the story. You also give, this is about product also, that description and the method of manufacturing, even a packaging procedure of that product. What are the acceptable limits? What type of information that support the stability of that particular drug substance? Even a copy of all labels and labeling to be provided for each investigator. Labels are very important. Labels, what is written on each label, that is always approved by regulatory agency. A claim and categorical exclusion or a submission of an environmental assessment, that is it safe for environment? We have followed all the safety rules that are going aligned, those are aligned with the environmental rules. It's not harming. Suppose you are manufacturing a product, but during its manufacturing, it is releasing a lot of toxins, or it is harming environment too much, then it's also not safe. And what information on pharmacological and toxicological is shared? PKPD data. You give the summaries, toxicological summaries, full data tabulation, any previous human studies that you have done. So if we will study this also. This is known as a CTT, Common Technical Document Module. So in this, one is your preclinical, one is clinical. I will tell you module 2, right? So preclinical, they are also giving you that you have to prepare summaries, what studies you have done. Even you have to include a detailed tables in that. So those are included in this application. So we going forward, we will study that. Previous human experience that I have already explained you. If you have already done some study on any, what do you say, other indication, that data is required. So how this application is reviewed, how IND application is reviewed. I have taken example of FDA, but I can also explain you how, what different things, how differently it is done at DCJ. So first of all, applicant, that means sponsor, maybe a Pfizer, J&J, or a ICMR, WHO, anyone who has started the trial. You have given IND application. So in FDA, it goes to Center of Drug Evaluation. There are different centers, 6 centers. So it goes to Center for Drug Evaluation. So now they have different further functions: medical, chemistry, pharmacology, and statistical. So all the content that I have showed you, specific, if it is related to manufacturing, it will go to that team, chemistry team. Pharmacological data will go to that team. Statistical data will go to stat team. They will, and anything related to medical care of the subject, human experience will go to medical team. Now, all these experts, they will review. What they will review? They will tell you, they will do safety review. Is it safe? Is it safe? So now, first thing is, safety is acceptable for the study to proceed. Okay, you can go ahead with the phase 1 study. Complete review. Review complete and acceptable. No deficiencies. Then you can start your study. You can start your phase 1 study. No, it is not that easy. Sometimes what happens, here we said yes, but if it is no here, safety review is not accepted, then what they say, clinical hold deficiency. At the later decade, what they do, they notify to sponsor that there is some deficiency. Maybe more data is needed. Maybe they are not able to understand how you have, say, once we got the deficiency that we plan to collect 6 ml of blood in from the infants in the protocol. They gave us this. Okay, no, it is not acceptable. Change the plan of your group. Then we changed. We made a subgroup. From subgroup, we collected 6 ml, but the rest of the folks only 2 ml. Like that, these things. So that you notify to sponsor who submit the application. Now, sponsor will change and again submit it. It will follow the cycle. Now, what happened here also, review complete also sometime, maybe there are some admin related questions, some document is missing, some small issues. They again send sponsor notification of deficiencies. And once you address them, then you are able to start your trial. Now, how India is different. We are having 25, this will also be covered in your session. Who is going to teach you new drug rules 2019? But I believe, I don't know who is going to cover, but I can, at least high level, I can explain to you here. So India has 25 subject matter experts. They are of oncology, microbiology, cardiology, different experts from different. Infectious, like Dr. Gaganpreet, she's any application related to vaccine goes to her. Dr. P.K. Gupta, any data related to pharmacological, he goes to him because he is a scientist in ICMR since long. Like that, there is an expert committee. A few members I know. Suppose, as I told, it is the application on a vaccine. We'll go to Dr. Gagandeep team because she is a microbiologist. Another application, related to pharmacology or any oncology trial, maybe go to some other expert in ICM and they review and they give the data. Is it clear? And their process is also like this. There is a video on my channel also on this. They also like they send you deficiency, notify sponsor, and then like that. Okay, let me see if there is a question. Okay. Now there is a treatment IND. It is also known as a compassionate use of drug. So earlier it was not there in Indian law, but now it is there after 2019. So what happens? Suppose you are in phase 3, but still marketing your NDA application is not approved. But this disease is life-threatening. Life-threatening. It is, and your drug is quite promising, but it has not got approval. It is not approved yet, but it is promising. So by a treatment IND application, you allow people to use the drug even it is in your phase 3. It is also known as a compassionate use of a drug. But in this case, it is also taken a commitment from a patient that you can't sue a sponsor if something goes wrong, because they are giving you out of compassion. Now coming to NDA application, I'm taking a small pause. If there is any question, you can ask me as of now on IND. We are moving to this NDA application. Just 1 minute. Okay, so I believe we can start with the NDA application. So this is what we studied: our animal testing, then our IND application, then our phase 1, 2, 3. Now, when your phase 3 is successful, that is means very good news. Excellent. So now you can file NDA. Oh, sorry. Because with this application, you are trying to take a permission to market your product. Basically, you are applying for a license. Drugs, vaccines, it is one thing that you can't sell without a license. So the NDA application is very long. Why so? Because whatever you have done from here to here, it will be part of your application. So what goes into this? Of course, there will be index, there will be clinical pharmacological reports, safety updates, pediatric data if this study is on small kids, bioavailability, PK studies, integrated summary of efficacy and safety. What is the meaning of this? I'm just trying to explain you small things. This means that phase 1, 2, 3 we have done, correct? We are giving safety and efficacy. We are preparing CSR for each separately, correct? But regulatory bodies maybe don't have a time to you read each CSR. But they say prepare one integrated efficacy and safety report. Again, a part of your CTT module. We will learn in a coming class. So what you do is combined safety and efficacy report of all these 3 phases. That is why it is known as a integrated summary, efficacy and safety. To make a one compiled report so that they can learn about, they can read the whole story of a molecule. Now next is clinical expert report, summary on drug impact, or data is quoted. A CSR is already there. So now most of the application they are submitted. Most of everything is done electronically these days. There may be rare to rarest case which is done by paper. Little more into detail what goes into this application. New molecule entity, all the information on that. So new salt or previously approved drug, it will also consider NDA classification. New formulation, previously approved drug, again will come under NDA. New combination of already existing two or more drugs. So see, you can't say that this drug has been approved differently. No. Even you are combining it now and selling it, maybe it is already approved for some other indication previously. But you have to apply for a new NDA application if you are changing anything. So these are the few examples. This is more example. Already existing, already marketed drug, duplication. New indication, already marketed drug. Already marketed drug product, no previously approved NDA. How this happens? Because before 1997, we were not having ICH. If you go back to 1920s, 1930s, there are the applications, drugs are came into market with very minimal testing. So it may be already in the market, but it was not approved, earlier approved, right? Again, you need a approval. So for NDA, how the review goes? Again, there are experts. Because the regulatory body, they have also a lot of pressure. Because tomorrow, anyone can sue a government that how you approve this product. So they also have an experts like chemist, microbiologist, pharmacologist, pharmacist, clinician, statistician, even medical experts. These are few examples. So they review your application and they give their expert comments. And FDA, say DCGI or any regulatory body, there is a provision to go and meet them as many times as you want. They keep on having meetings, they keep on taking their expert inputs. It's not like you can't talk to FDA, you can't speak to them. You can book a meeting with the DCGI as many times as you want. You can request a meeting. And there are advisory committees also, those advise you on a different, and safety office also. There is a experts on drug advertisement because they approve the labeling of the product. CMC, you are chemistry, manufacturing, everything. Scientific investigator, all these experts, they review NDA application. But India, we are having same 25 SMEs. So now this is very interesting. You may have seen that at time of a COVID, a drug came to market very quickly, right? At very fast step. So there are review processes. One is standard and one is expedited. Standard is the same, whatever that defined time they have. Like in India, we have a 40 days. Sorry, India, we have a 45 days for one scenario, 60 days for another scenario. 45 days, they are saying if you are marketing this product in India, then 45 days. If you are maybe a foreigner one, then 60 days, like that. But that is one thing. If there is a need of a product, in the market at very quickly pace, maybe a life-threatening disease, like there is one thing, TB. India needed a vaccine or a drug in that, right? So that is can be reviewed and on an expedited basis. One of fast track. Fast track, it can be reviewed. Now there can be a multiple reviews. Like it is approvable, approved, denied. Approvable means there is a deficiency. Maybe need additional input, need additional information. Okay, so that is approvable. Approved means it is approved, they given you the license to sell the product. Denied, they declined it. Chances of this are very low because you are already discussing your whole strategy with the regulatory bodies again and again. And there is also negotiation on the labeling, what you are going to write or what you are not going to write. Expiated earlier in India, this process was not there. It came after 2019 only. Why I keep on telling you Indian related differences? Because you may have been asked during your interview. Now, what are the different components that goes into this application? First of all, index. No question on that. Summary of the application. CMC information, samples, method, validation package, and labeling. Preclinical, pharmacological, and toxicological data. Human pharmacokinetics and bioavailability. Basically, PKPD data goes in here. Microbiology. If this is drug is related to antimicrobial or all that. Clinical data. Clinical data means all your phase 1, 2, 3 data. Safety update reports. We have studied PSUR, right? Those reports. Statistical data, case report tabulation, case report forms, patent information, patent certification. This is how it is reviewed. So NDA application review process, it is almost same as of IND, almost same. So what goes? Sponsor, any pharma company who reviewed this data, they file the NDA application. First of all, it is checked because this file is long and heavy file. It is checked applicable filing. But chances of this is very less these days because we are submitting electronically. All the big pharma, all the big CROs, they have a system made in such way. If it is not acceptable, it shows error. Earlier, it used to happen. Acceptable format means that something is missing, some document is not in the format they want. They used to refuse and this used to go back. But all the big pharmas, they have a system to handle this. Nobody here. And that's how technology is helping us. Review by CDR. If it is a drug, it will go to Center for Drug Evaluation Board. Again, there will be a team of medical, pharmacology, chemistry, statistical, biopharma, and microbiology. So depending on which application it is, it will be moved by those experts, right? So now coming here, is review complete or acceptable? If it is yes, what will be the next action? There will be review for a label. NDA application, that means acceptable means that everything is perfect. Everything is perfect related to clinical data. Now, another thing they will be checking on, if there is any inspection, any application these days which is get approved by NDA, there is always an audit and an inspection. What that audit and inspection report says that, if that is also correct, all yes, that means NDA approved. You can go and sell the product in the market. Now coming to if things are not that straightforward. So here it is labeling review. If there are deficiencies or regulatory body is not agreeing with the labeling, they say no. Again, it will go to review, sponsor review. They will submit again cycle will follow. Now inspection also, if there are inspection findings, No, if they will also issue the satisfactory, pending for a satisfactory review. Sponsor has to respond to the findings. Now, this will define that if they find that a response is okay, they will accept it. If the response is not okay, they may not be satisfied. This is quite big. I tell you, in 2023, the Pfizer fund for one of its drugs, there were major findings in inspection. So they excluded the data of those 10 sites. So that's how you handle sometimes the situations, right? Okay, so what else can happen if the review is not complete here? Additional information or something they may ask you, maybe amendment. They may ask you to do additional trial. Happened with us. We submit the phase 3 data. They said that your vaccine data is complete, but how this vaccine, new vaccine is going to impact already existing childhood vaccine, where is that? We were not having that data. What in, because they sent this no. Then we planned phase 3B study, done a trial for 2 years, resubmit the data. So that's how it happens, right? So in between, there are meetings with sponsors, meeting with the advisory committees, so that because it's a big thing. Even regulatory body also know that lot of effort has gone to develop any new medicine or a molecule, right? So I'll again take a small pause. If you are having any question on this, you can ask. Okay, there is no question. We have covered our maximum part of today's topic. Let me move forward. Now coming to the biological license application. How it is different from NDA application. So biological license is for requesting for a biological product. So biological product, those are derived from a living organism. The range of product including vaccine, blood component, allergenic products, cellular and genetic therapies. All that is compiling into a biological product. So this ensures that biological product meet stringent safety, purity, and potency standards, so that public health can be safeguarded. That is the only difference. Now, what will be the difference between those two applications? This will go to any application related to drug. It will be going to CDR, uh, you know, uh, department. If it is related to biologics, it will be going to Center for Biological Evaluation, right? So what are the key differences? Monoclonal antibodies, most protein for therapeutic use, therapeutic immunotherapies, growth factors, uh, even like cytokines, those are used. They are even anything which is developed in vivo. For CBER is cellular products, gene therapy products, blood and blood related products, vaccines, antitoxin, venoms, allergenic extract. So don't confuse with these two things. But this is not for you as of now. You can just remember for BL is that for blood products, for your vaccines, this application is used, especially for the biological products. So now this is the, again, crux of the story, that how NDA or a BLA review process takes place. So NDA and BLA submission, once you have done your preclinical pre-BLA meeting, now you have done your clinical testing, your phase 1, 2, 3, all you done, then acceptable filing is biological license application is complete and reviewable. I told you these days you need not to worry for this because you have a technology. Acceptable filing, FDA takes 60 days. India has two different days. 45 days for domestic application, 60 days for overall. So that's a small difference, right? Then the review is completed by either CDER or CVER, depending on which application. If it is a drug, then CDER action on it. If it is biological product, then CBER action on it. So there are different teams like medical, pharma, biopharma, staff, they say it. Even advisory committee, they give their input. If needed, meeting with sponsor also happens. If required, amendments are done. Then inspections. They are done even EU. Recently, we are one of application was going to for a marketing authorization in EU. This is known as MA, marketing authorization application. So they sent a note that we would like to inspect. There was a audit for almost for 1 month. Labeling is also reviewed. Then final action by even FDA or EU or say DCGI is going to be approval complete. If it is either they can say that approved or yes or no. In any case, they have to give a reason, detailed. Why they are saying yes, why they are saying no. So that should be added in detail by, and even they send a note. Public press notification also goes in. Okay. Now there are few additional name of applications. I thought like I can share with you so that it helps you. First is supplement a new drug application. If there is any change, that's why name supplemental. So if there is any change in a label, there may be change in a dose. This may be coming from a safety information. New strength, new manufacturing process, you have to give an application for a supplemental new drug application. Now, this is where quite popular abbreviated new drug application. So when suppose you have approved a drug in 2024 and its patent application is getting expired in 2030, that means after 2030, this product is open for a generic market. Suppose Pfizer was having a license. Now in 2030, if it is getting expired, this license is over. So any company like our Cipla, like our Sun Pharma, they can also prepare the drug generic products, right, and sell in the market. So generic drug product is one that is comparable to innovator drug, also known as a reference listed drug. So this will be should be approved. This should be having the same strength in the dosage form, route of administration, quality, performance, and characteristic. The crux of the story is that suppose Pfizer had a drug A. Drug A. Now patent is over. Cipla can make it. What they need to do? Do you think they need to do 1, 2, 3 phases? No. They just need to do one experiment, also known as BA studies, where they have to show that Cipla drug is same as a Pfizer drug in everything, in a dose, strength, route, quality, performance. So if the graph of this is Pfizer drug. Now Cipla drug also have to having the same graph. That's what they need to prove. That means they can they just have to do one BA bioavailability or bioequivalence study, where they can show that our drug is same as of a Pfizer drug. Now patent is over, and we can also sell the drug in the market. What will be the difference? Price. Generic products very cheap because there is no investment cost. Correct? There is no research costs that added to this. So they will do just one study. They need not to do preclinical animals, all those studies, because Pfizer will share the data with Lab, right? So it will just file this application, abbreviated new drug application. So any doubt in this? This is, I think, few last slides for us. Okay. Very good. So generic drug is same active ingredient, same route of administration, same dose, same strength, same indication, condition. Some changes are allowed, very few changes. Patents go to marketing, not approval. So this is known as an abbreviation new drug application. It contains the data when submitted to FDA CDR, Office of Generic Drug, provider review, and ultimate approval of generic products. Even in India, you have to submit to DCGI. Basically, you have to give a data for BA study. Why they are termed as abbreviated? Because they generally not required to include a preclinical and clinical data to establish safety and effectiveness. These parameters must be established upon the approval of innovator drug. So basically, they take all the data of innovator drug and they just try to prove that our drug is same as of a innovator drug. So this is what I have shown you. That this is, just see the drug concentration. This is a reference drug, Pfizer drug. This is test, that may be similar. So both performance should be almost same. This is equivalence example. Now, if you wanted to see how this application is reviewed, how this application is get reviewed, here is an applicant, then it will file a abbreviated new drug application. First thing it will be checked, is it acceptable format or not? If it is no, then go back, follow the cycle. If it is acceptable, now see the review is also easy. ANDA application review is also easy because they already know everything is already approved, especially these two important things, safety plus efficacy. It's already approved. So what review include is bioequivalence, chemistry and microbiology review. If manufacturing plant inspection may be possible. See, earlier clinical data inspection, but now because new small companies manufacturing this product, they may do a small plant inspection. Labeling review also happens. Now, if bioequivalence review is acceptable, that's the first thing. Then further, if it is not acceptable, they will give you deficiency letter. You have to address it. Now, another is inspection, plant inspection. If that's okay, that they can give you approval. Another is manufacturing information, labeling, chemistry, microbiology. If that's also okay, all three should be okay. Then your application is approved. Even if the manufacturing process is not okay, then they not approval letter. They give you a deficiency letter, right? Even if there are deficiencies in a manufacturing process, they give you a deficiency letter and they ask you to address the concern. So this is ANDA application. Then this is last, I promise after this, I know this is little heavy session. over the counter drug product. You don't need much. You need till this is sufficient for you, but just wanted to tell you if you want to know. Over the counter drug products, those are available for the consumer without prescription. There are more than 80 classes. They keep on evolving. They are ranging from your acne drug to weight loss and all that. More than these many OTC drug products are market, and more than 800 significant active ingredients. So I think we don't need to go in here. This is out of scope. So what we covered today, ANDA application, that is for your generic product, and a supplement new drug application, which is if there is a change in label, dose, strength, and anything. NDA and BLA application for your new drug and new vaccine after phase 3, and IND to start human testing. So that's all from my side, right? Can discuss the questions. Today, very few people joined. I don't know why. Now Diwali is also over. I mean, all the key festivals, they are gone. All right. So if there is no question, we can close our session, right? Thanks, everyone. Bye. Thank you.